8:15 a.m.
Hello, this is Barbara Ann Rosenberg, your roving reporter, and doing travel and table tips. And this week we're going to the last, or the third anyway, of the Indonesian island events. We've been to Java, we've been to Sulawesi, and this time, I don't want to say we're saving the best for last, but I do love Bali, and we are going to Bali and Lombok, a sweet little island that they say was a lot like Bali 25 years ago. It may be stretching it a little bit, but that's what they say. So let's go take a look and find out what they've got. Well, we're just arriving at a resort called the Puri Kamandalu. Now, Puri is the Indonesian word for palace. This sure looks like a palace to me. I think we ought to take a peek inside and see what we're getting ourselves in for, because we're staying here 3 days. There's a mountain over there, but I think it's in clouds now. And there's rice fields here, and I understand there's a valley on the other side. Let's go take a look. Good morning. We're just arriving at your hotel at the Puri Kamandalu, and I understand that Puri means palace in Balinese.
That's right, madam.
Special word for that. This is Manik, the guest relations officer.
Good morning.
And you see how pleasant things are in Bali. I think we'll go in and meet the general manager.
I see. Nice, madam. And now he's waiting for you at the restaurant, madam.
Thank you. This promises to be a very gorgeous experience if this entryway has anything to do with it. A great big batik, which is a very special art form of this part of the world, and then these wonderful ceremonial umbrellas, not to keep you from getting wet, just for ceremony. Now we're in the dining room of this charming resort. With me is the general manager, Joseph Zitnik, who has just taken over. And tell us a little bit about your plans for the Puri Kamandalu. Before I couldn't even say it. There's all these unpronounceable names that suddenly become pronounceable.
Thank you very much. As of the 15th of November, the Puri Kamandalu will be called the Banyan Tree Kamandalu. We have a lot of plans here for the resort. We are in the middle of building a very luxurious spa complex, which will be open, and we will also do many spa packages. The spa will feature different sorts of aromatherapies and herbal therapies, and we're also going to do another restaurant, which will be a poolside restaurant where we can have a lot of fun with, as well as this restaurant, which we will keep and do a lot with. Thank you very much.
I'm happy to have heard about the plans for this. So it's going to be the Banyan Tree Kamandalu. What does Kamandalu mean?
Well, Kamandalu is it's like sacred water.
Sacred water.
Sacred water, yeah.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much. I'm glad to know what it means. Now I'll go take a look around, and we'll do some of the pool and see where we're going to live after breakfast. How's that?
Okay.
We're on our way down to the room. It doesn't look like it's going to be too shabby, either in facilities or service. What do you say? Let's go on down and see where we're staying. Well, it gets better and better. I don't know how much better it can be, but here are the individual bungalows, and I guess we're staying in one of them. Thatched roofs. Let's go see if it has air conditioning, too. Not bad for starters, eh? Let's go see. About as beautiful a place as I've ever been in this individual accommodation. A kind of very oriental bed and our own pool. I'm going to walk out to the pool. Another view of paradise. My word, I think I could pull up stakes and live in Ubud on the island of Bali for the rest of my life. And as a matter of fact, there are plenty of expatriates who have done just that. There are apartments available for rent, and they aren't too terribly expensive. I don't think they're going to have their very own pools that aren't really just splash pools either. This is big enough to swim in. I'm going to go take off my clothes and get ready for a swim. This is at the beginning of a cremation ceremony in the town of Mas. Mas is a woodcarver's village in Bali. And the people are assembled here to wait for the deceased to be cremated on the back of the bull, actually. And there he will be carried to the resting place on that pavilion. So we're going to wait and see what happens. And if it isn't too long and too hot, why, we'll have a good time and watch the locals, the villagers. Remember I told you about offerings? Well, here is an offering. And here are the men who are going to carry the body of the deceased to his final cremation, which is a grand send-off. The priest has, and he's chanting the prayers for the deceased. And there are all kinds of offerings, flower offerings, a roasted pig, coconuts, and he's being shielded from the sun by a charming umbrella that I think has to do with a cigarette.
Yeah, right.
The procession gets longer and longer. The women have come with their lace tops and their sarongs, and many men are joining them now. The men who will be the ritual bearers and the gamelan players. You're seeing an entire pageant, the like of which these people are Hindu, but a different kind of Hinduism in a way from India. They have their own very unusual customs. They have a likeness of the deceased so that people will remember what he looked like when he was alive. And the ceremony will go on for hours, so we can just pick and choose what we want to see, some of the more colorful things. And then you'll have to come yourself to Bali and hope that you catch a funeral, a cremation ceremony. And here is the barong. Remember we saw him dancing last night, kind of a mythical guy. I don't know, it's one of the figures, and they all are in evidence here for to see the deceased on his way in a happy way for the villagers anyway. I don't think he knows the difference. From the grounds of the Museum Agan Rai, with a view of, I don't think we can quite see it here, of the great volcano, but the view from here, the museum grounds, are simply, you can see, just breathtakingly beautiful. The sun isn't out, but even so, the contrast in colors and the kind of vegetation and the kind of fountain and everything is just simply magnificent. I don't know any other word for it. And here you see the museum from the front. Everything about it, the sculptures, the proportions of the building, everything is wonderful. Balinese sculpture, Balinese architecture is not famous for nothing. You know, it's never a trip anywhere with me, the roving reporter, without going to a market. So here we are in the market in Bali, where we'll look at the foods and we'll look at the crafts. This is a boat. This is the kind of boat they use at the beach. We're not in the beach now, we're in the mountains. But it's an interesting little boat, isn't it? And we'll walk over and see some food, too. And in the market, there are offerings to the spirits. This is an animist society. They believe everything has a spirit, every tree, every house, every person, of course. And here are the offerings that they prepare daily and leave for the spirits that are good spirits for them. See, even stones have spirits. And here is an offering to these two stones. This is a most interesting market because there's everything from musical instruments to straw placemats to batik to food. Name it, I think you'd probably find it here. Very, very interesting and very reasonable market. Gosh, I'm having a great time here. I love Bali anyway. But wait, we've got more things to show you. The orchestra is coming in and assembling now. We're going to see two dances. We're going to see the Legong dance, which is very beautiful and graceful. And we're going to see a barong dance where a big monster comes in and scares everybody. Please notice that there is black and white on every one of the god symbols here, and that stands for the contrasts in life, good and evil and pleasure and pain, etc. All of this is very symbolic, and the gamelan sound is really quite extraordinary. It's been described as being spring or waterfall or joy. Well, you'll make up your mind, but you're about to see one of the most exciting and colorful dances in all of Indonesia, or two, I should say. This is Old Bali, very traditional, at the Tanjung Sari Hotel that is run and started by an anthropologist on the grounds of a traditional Balinese house. The help here is dressed, of course, in a very traditional way. The grounds are manicured within an inch of their lives. It's early in the morning, and they haven't really gotten it spruced up yet. There are offerings to the gods every day. There are all the traditions and yet the elegance of a really fine hotel. It's right here, beachfront, and you see those little traditional boats that are available for hire. There's nobody here yet. It's very early in the morning, and we'll show you more of it as it gets more lively. The only way you know you're in a hotel here is our room number is right here. Look at the offerings to the spirits of this building, which is a typical Balinese house. The kind of houses that people lived in, 2 stories, the living room upstairs, the bedroom downstairs. Only we're in a beautiful garden at the Tanjung Sari Hotel. A very tropical garden that we're in. And it's not bad. We can have breakfast here. We can have happy hour here. We can do whatever we want. And you put on a sarong, which is provided by the hotel. You wear it practically the whole time because otherwise it's too bloody hot to wear anything else. And Agun is here to greet us in typical Tanjung Sari style at this wonderful desk in this old-style house, full of antiques, orchids. It's a place for travelers, not for tourists. And to herald the arrival of new guests, they threw 3 times with that gong, and that means welcome to the Tanjung Sari. Well, I think I've seen almost everything now. Here's a swimming pool where when you walk in on sand. Sand in the swimming pool so that you don't walk down steps. It's just like being at the beach. Even the magnificent flowers in the area. Bali is the most tropical place maybe that I've ever seen. It makes many of the tropical places, makes many of the Caribbean islands look arid, and it's lush beyond comprehension. We're at the Sheraton Lagoon, and I guess it's called Lagoon because of these series of pools that surround the hotel, or at least are in the center of the hotel. And this is the kind of place where you put on your sarong and just forget the rest of the world. I'm sitting here in Bali at the Sheraton we're at the Sheraton Nusa Indah here, next door property. But here's the man, the chef, in charge of the wonderful food at both of these resorts, Chef Richard Liker, right?
Yes.
And he's been in
2 years in Bali.
2 years in Bali, but a long time in the Far East.
Yes, about 20 years here.
And tell me what I'm having here.
You have here fresh crab with a kind of chili sauce, Balinese style, which is made out of ginger, fresh Lombok chili, and some lemongrass, and some other ingredients which are typical Balinese, which would take too long to explain here.
Well, I'm going to dig in and see what they're like, and there's other wonderful things on this table, such as these satés over here. What kind of satay do you have?
It's a variety of seafood, fish, traditional Balinese, lamb and chicken.
Oh, how absolutely glorious. And those are king prawns on that plate. And they said Chef Liker, to serve in a style that really is using the local ingredients. So you'll see this satay is cooked on sort of a little flame on a brick. I guess that's what it is, a brick. And mine is pottery from Lombok. Brick with coconut shell charcoal. I don't know that I'm going to be able to find that, but anyway, I'm going to enjoy it now and hope we'll enjoy it together back in Philadelphia. Standing here at the edge of the beautiful pool at the Sheraton Sangigi how do you like that for a name, in Lombok, an island to the south, I think it is, of Bali, and very tropical and very unspoiled. You can see the kids having a great time with that statue in the middle. I think they're sliding out the front. And I'm about to do it, but don't watch for me, because I'm not going to be on the tube while I do it. Some of it's all very fresh. And those colorful sails are... Here's a local fisherman who's just brought out a bunch of tiny fish in his net that he casts. Then he takes a look and see what he's got. They're very shiny. They're very small. And here comes some of the hotel people, I guess, or the water sports people, to take a look and see how good the catch is. To get them jumping. They couldn't be much fresher. See these little fellas jump when they're on the sand? They're shining, they're like silver. And everybody's interested to see how many he got. They are so beautiful with their sari, their sarong, some tied, some not tied. And we're in the village Banyumulek, which is where they make all this wonderful pottery that you see behind the children. Wonderful pottery. It's both black and red clay, and they mix it together for very, very interesting effects. I'd like you to meet Sam. Sam is from Lombok, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the firing of the clay in this village. Tell us the name of the village again, Sam.
Thank you. So, the firing, is it on open air, sometime on the kilns, yeah? But this time you can see the firing on the open air with rice straw and rice husks, about approximately 4 hours, yeah? And the temperature is about 650 Celsius to produce red color. And the pottery, where do you use it here? They use for the store of water, yeah? Also now they do use for the decoration as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. These children go to school in the morning, and in the afternoon their pastime is selling things to the tourists. I bought this goat bell, see it here? And I'll probably buy something else just from the children because they're so cute. Now in the weaving village where they make ikats. Ikat means that the thread is dyed and then these hangings are woven from the dyed thread. They're not printed afterward. This is very complex, and some of them are made from natural colors like these. These are the very, very traditional and beautiful ones. They're working on them right now. You can see the lap looms, which are really used almost everywhere in the world, but they're used very effectively here. Test. We're in a Sasak village where the people live in traditional houses that are not very different from they were about 500 years ago. They speak lovely English. What's your name?
My name is Sakarja, yeah.
Sakarja. And there's a family of a little boy and mother and someone combing her hair. Very beautiful people. Well, this is a different kind of barber shop. Everything happens right outside in this Sasak village. Middle. See, the first one we looked at was kind of a reproduction, but this is the real thing. And as kids everywhere find something to play with, these kids are playing with cards, only they're not baseball cards. They're tradition cards. And I guess whoever gets the most wins. That's usually the way it works, yes? In this part of Lombok, their dancing and their masks and everything is part Indonesian, part Balinese, part Malaysian, like the food we're eating tonight. A very, very exciting and pan-Asiatic extravaganza. I hope you're enjoying it. We're loving it. Hope you enjoyed this long, long trip. At least it was long for us to get to Indonesia. I hope it wasn't long for you to watch either Lombok and Bali or Java or Sulawesi. We thought it was spectacular. Spent a month there and I can't wait to go back. I hope you'll join me again. Barbara Ann Rosenberg, your roving reporter.